video, I'm going to show you how to bleed the brakes. After you did a brake job or you replaced the caliper, it's pretty much the same on pretty much any vehicle. The first thing you're going to want to do is take the wheels off, jack the car up, make sure it's jacked properly. Do not use the jack. Don't rely on the jack to hold the vehicle. It's not made for that. It's made for holding jacking. Make sure you have your jack stands in all four corners. You're going to open up your reservoir, make sure it's full of brake fluid. Okay, each caliper is going to have a bleeder valve right there. Maybe they have a little rubber cap on it. You take the rubber cap off on all four of them. Let me show you. This is the rear. And come on. Yeah, this one right here, you see this? That's the bleeder. What you're going to want to do, if you replaced only one caliper on one side, you can just bleed that one. But I did full brakes on everything, and I just want to change the fluid because after 2 years, it gets oxidated, it gets moisture in there from the heat and cooling, and maybe you get a little sponginess on the brake pedal. And I just replace the fluid completely every couple of years. All right. So what you're going to do, you're going to start from the furthest. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me show you what you need. You can either crack open the bleeder and let them just bleed. Just watch that this reservoir doesn't go below minimum, because if it does and it sucks air, then you're going to have another problem, because if it has ABS brakes, you're going to need a scan tool. If you get if you get any air in the ABS system, and if you're doing an ABS system and you're trying to bleed the brakes, you're going to need a scan tool. The scan tool pulses all the air out, but that's a completely different video. All right, this is assuming that you didn't run low. Okay, I mean run low meaning that the brake fluid and the overflow is not below the minimum or dry. Okay. Now you can crack the bleeders and just let them drip. Make sure you have something to catch it. You just let them drip. All four of them as you're monitoring the level over here. You can do that for like about 20 minutes if you want. Close it up, all of them nice. Check top off your level and check your pedal. That's an easy way to do it. It's called gravity feeding. Or you can use a siphon like I do. It's basically, you hook this up to the bleeder end. Okay, you pump it up, you put vacuum in the system, and then with everything hooked up, you crack the bleeder a little bit, and you'll see the air shoot out. And once the air is clean and all you see is brake fluid coming out, like about 3 or 4 times you do this, you shut it, take it off, and you do each wheel. Now, you always start, here's the master cylinder, it's on the driver's side, it usually is. You always start from the furthest on the vehicle. So what's the furthest? The furthest is the passenger side rear. That's the furthest. So you do the passenger side rear first, then you do driver's side rear, do passenger front, and then you do the driver's side front. And then you check your pedal again, and like while you're doing this, like I said, you just always got to monitor the brake fluid. Make sure it doesn't go below the minimum over here. Okay, no need to pump the pedal while you're doing this. You know, like you have somebody in the car pumping the pedal, and you don't have to do it that way. You could do it. You could do gravity feed, or you could do it with the siphon pump. I'll show you how to do the siphon pump. I'm going to do one of them, and I'll show you. All right, a couple of quick things. Before you even start the project, make sure you can open those bleeders. You have to make sure you can crack them open, all of them, or whichever ones you're doing. Because if you cannot break that bleeder free, you're going to have to replace the caliper. So, you know, that's another tip before you even start, because you don't want to break it when in the middle of the job, the car's up in the air and you got no transportation. All right. Okay. What I did, I actually took out, this is for the gravity feed. I actually took, you see it right there, the bleeder completely out. And it's dripping on a couple of rags all over. Every one of them. See, it's dripping. All 4 of them. And another thing, do not touch the brake pedal. Do not press the brake pedal while any of the bleeders are open. You'll introduce air. Okay? So now, I'm looking over here. Okay, it's getting a little bit low. Well, it's right here. I don't want it to go that low, so I'm monitoring it as I'm watching it drip. Okay, this one's out too. I don't know if you can see it, but they're dripping. And this one too. Okay, now the second method is vacuum bleeding. So you hook up a vacuum pump like this one. You hook it up to the bleeder in the back. And you hook a wrench to it. This light is a pain in the neck. If you can see that, there's a wrench there. And right now the vacuum is at 20. Doesn't really matter. You get it like 20 or whatever. And then, I'll show you. You crack it open and you watch the gauge. See the gauge going down? You go down to about 0, then you lock it up again. And then you pump it up again. Yeah, 20, 25, whatever you can get in there. Nice vacuum in there. And basically, the vacuum comes through here. All the bubbles come out and a little bit of brake fluid. And here's your vacuum to the vacuum pump. And I'll watch that again. Open it up. See how it goes down. Then you snug it back up again. You do it like 5 times a wheel. And like I said, you start with the passenger rear. No, I'm sorry. You start, yes, I'm sorry. You start with the furthest, which is the passenger rear, this one. Then you go to the driver's side rear. Then you go to passenger side front, and then driver's side front. And that's how you do it. Okay? And that's basically the 2 methods to do it. Note that the gravity feed method is really, really slow. You know, you can imagine it just drips. It'll take a long time. But if you don't have a tool, or if you don't mind waiting, you could do it that way too. This way is probably better. It sucks the air out better. And again, you always got to check your reservoir. Make sure the brake fluid is above the minimum. And just fill it up to the top, and you just keep doing it. And then once you're done, you pump your brakes and make sure it's a nice solid feel. Truck doesn't have to be on, you know, and make sure you have a nice solid pedal. Let me show you what that. Okay. You press the pedal, and you got to get a really, really solid pedal. All right, it should feel nice and strong like a rock. And then you check your fluid here. See, it's still really good. And once you're done, if you have too much fluid and all your brakes are new, you want to suck some of the fluid out, maybe with a turkey baster, or they have, you know, something that looks like that for automotive. And you want to get right to your maximum. You don't want to go over your maximum, because that's a false reading. If you keep it full like this over the maximum, as the brakes wear, all right, the light won't go on, because it's thinking that the brakes still have enough meat on them. So it's critical that once you do a full brake job, you make sure when you're all done on level ground that you're at the maximum on the brake fluid is the maximum line, and not below it, not above it. All right, guys, Motorcar Nut 2020. I'll see you guys in the next video. Please subscribe. Hit that like button, and I'm going to have so many more videos of all different types of automotive in the future. All right, thank you.